Hey everybody, Jeff Mackerlin here, and today I want to talk about a decision that surprised even me. I chose a DGT Semi-Hollow over a Gibson Murphy Lab 335. Now first, cards on the table, I am a PRS endorser. I think they're a great bunch of people. I've been to the factory a bunch of times. They're awesome. But this decision had nothing to do with my relationship with PRS. I have other PRSs that I absolutely love. If you guys know my channel, you know I love those guitars. I went in deciding that I wanted a 335. So a little backstory. I absolutely love 335s and the way they sound. I am a huge old Eric Clapton fan, especially the Cream era stuff. So one of my favorite guitar sounds ever recorded is Crossroads, and that is a Gibson ES 335 played through his old Marshall. So I love that guitar sound. I wanted that guitar sound. So I went over to my friends over at Watchtower Guitars in Morristown, New Jersey, which always gets me in trouble. They had one that was used at Murphy Lab, 1964, which I've had one previously. I'll talk about that in a second. And I always get in trouble going over there because they have such great guitars, so check them out. And I was ready to trade some guitars to get a 335 again. I went to Watchtower Guitars fully intending to buy this 335 that they put on hold for me. Then they pulled this out. They weren't supposed to have any more of these. These are limited edition, and they know I love the DGT, and they know I'm good friends with David, who will chime in shortly. And we pulled it out and plugged it in, and it kind of blew my mind. Well, this just in, I spoke to my friends over at Watchtower Guitars, and they're willing to extend a special discount to anybody who comes through the channel. And all you got to do is give the store a call, tell them Jeff sent you, and they'll work out a deal with you on pretty much anything in the store. So, thanks to my friends at Watchtower. Check out the link below, Watchtower Guitars. Give them a call, tell them Jeff sent you. So I went back and forth, and the 335 sounded great. But I started to dig into this guitar more. One thing that immediately, besides I said the playability, is a factor that's become more and more important to me. How easy is it for me to play on a gig? And will I bring it to a gig? I'm used to playing Fenders or my Tuttle, like Strat style guitars. And the first thing I love about DGTs and many PRSs, they feel like a Fender to me. Volume knobs right here, I've got a tremolo. Tremolo is a big part of my playing. So everything is spot on the way it feels like it should be. I switch between this and that. Completely comfortable. When I switch between the Tuttle here and a Gibson, I start messing up not so much the scale, more of the placement of the volume and tone knobs. So just a quick break here. If you like the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button as always. And I've got a special course on sale. It is called Blues Rock Repeated Licks. In the course, besides showing you a ton of licks, helping you build your technique, showing you how to use those licks, and showing you how you can connect those licks into expanding your vocabulary, I really focus in on your pick hand, talking about pick angle, alternate picking, economy picking, inside picking, outside picking, all the things that I worked on to help increase my technique. So that course is on sale using the link above or below for a special price. Now back to the video. Now another factor, as much as I love the classic 335 sound, and I'm sure at some point I will get a 335, of course, and go through this whole game again, is that this guitar got a lot of really great classic sounds and modern sounds as well. With the modern playability, the intonation, the stability of the guitar really kind of kicked the 335's butt. Now let's compare a DGT Semi-Hollow to a DGT Core, and thanks to my good friends at Watchtower Guitars, so let me grab this. I have put 10s on this as well, lowered the action a little bit. I have not adjusted the pickup heights on either of these guitars at all. So you're going to hear probably some difference in the height. They are pretty similar, but I think the guitars sound pretty different. I think they both sound pretty great, but I'll let you be the judge of that. I'm going to go through all the positions and using the coil split, or actually coil tap, I should say. And I'm going to play clean and a little dirty, just fast comparison. So let's check it out. So there's a quick comparison between the DGT Core model and the Semi-Hollow. Which one did you prefer? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you also think I'm crazy for not getting a 335 over this? Flame away, I don't care. I'm solid in my decision. So I have David here now to talk about this guitar. Now, first question I had, like, what made you come up with this particular model?
Basically being sort of stuck in my house during the pandemic, hungry for some sort of change of scenery, and whether it be sonic or visual, and just really intrigued. I had played, they have another model that has the semi-hollow thing. It might be a 594, I don't know. I mean, I hadn't played one, but I had seen it, and I thought, because I mean, I love semi-hollow guitars as well as solid. You know, I like. They obviously have a different character. So, in a nutshell, just looking for another source of inspiration. Wanted to see what would happen, and in theory, what I was hoping would happen I would be it's lighter, which is kind of nice if you're playing a long gig. Also, I noticed on my 335, I have an old 335 that's really good. I have a new one that I don't like very much, but B.B. King signed it, so I can't get rid of it. I like the fact that the top, it seems like the notes, the higher notes have a little more compression, or a little more soft, like they're not quite as biting, which is not necessarily better. It's just different, and a little less bottom end, which can be helpful in a lot of different situations, and depending on the amp I'm playing through. Or how I have my amp set, or who I'm playing with, or if I'm layering parts, a guitar with a little less low end can sit in the mix better. So it's just all these different things that I thought might happen, and they made the guitar for me, and it did in fact happen. It really kind of came out like I was hoping it would come out.
Great. I mean, as I was talking about in the video, I was at my friend's store and I was trying to 335, and they had one of these. Somebody decided it was already pre-ordered, and then they got it, and the guy changed his mind. Lucky for me. And I was comparing, you guys can hear in the video, between the 335, and there was just 335 sounded great, but it sounded exactly like what you wanted a 335, exactly like a 335. And then I picked this up, and there was something unique going on. It had some of those qualities, and then I thought, for me, there's the practicality of I can throw this in the gig bag, get some of the qualities of a 335. And for me, I like having the tremolo. That was one of the big selling points as well, was having the trem. And so for me, it was not much of a question. I was thinking I was going to get the 335 because I have your DGT, which I love, but it does sound different enough.
Yeah.
That I thought that was a really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea.
Well, good. Yeah. I mean, you can go back for me. 40 years ago, I was like, I'd use a fake ID to buy the guitar. It's like that. The appeal to me then, and I probably couldn't articulate it very well, was that these things at that time, especially, were more of a blank canvas. Like, you pick up a Les Paul or Strat, you kind of know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's like there's, or at least I think I know what's going to happen because I know the sound of those instruments so well. That this occupies a space that's a little different than any other traditional archetype, whatever you want to call, that we're used to in electric guitar. And I agree with you. The trim is a huge thing for me. I use it constantly, and very subtly most of the time. But also the single coil thing. The way we've got the single coil, it's not really it's a coil tap, and the way it sounds now and the way it works is so. We've really gotten to where I want to be with it. It took a while, but to have that option in there, it's like it kind of opens up this pseudo Gretsch world for me. as well. So to have that, obviously the solid body has that too, but to be able to carry it into this guitar and then have a little more of that hollowness. I mean, the other night on my gig, I was playing this guitar, and after I finished a solo, I went to tune, and the band came down for the keyboard player that was taking a solo, and so it wasn't. I mean, the drums were still playing and everything, but I'm on stage tuning, and I hear the guitar, and I think it's coming through the amp, so I jump down to get my volume thing, and it's like it wasn't coming through the amp. It was the guitar's loud acoustically, so that gives it a thing. I mean, these things are just microphones, really. They're picking up what's happening. They're reproducing what you are. They're picking up what you're putting down. Yeah. And so that was kind of a cool moment. It's like, oh, cool. It's like this thing's like an acoustic guitar, almost.
I love it. I was more impressed with it than I thought I would be, which is great. I mean, I always have high expectations. I mean, you got your name on it, and I got to teach and played plenty of PRSs and work with them. But this one, as I told everybody, like I bought this.
Yeah, and I'm still not quite over the fact that your top is nicer than mine.
It's just luck.
It's just yours is maybe it's your lighting. I don't know. I mean, mine's great, but yours is better. Yours is better. Yeah, yeah. Yours is definitely better. But I mean, getting back to the I guess part of your original question was the thing about, to me, regardless of the model, when you get into the core guitars, especially ones that, I mean, this is pretty close to being a private stock guitar. The quality of the wood that PRS has is about as good as you can get in this day and age. I mean, it's not the 50s anymore. So to get really high quality wood is they're big enough to I think to, I don't know how to put it or how they do it, but they have suppliers and they have wood buyers, and they kiln dry their own wood, and they don't use neck blanks. They start everything from scratch. Just the quality of the wood. The guitar comes out of the case and it's ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the factory a few times, and it's really impressive. They're really serious about the stuff, and that was like that was one of the big things for me too, is like the Gibson was cool, but to be honest, it was an earlier Murphy Lab, and there were parts of the finish were chipping off, and there were things about it when I picked this up, there was nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was ready to go. I haven't even adjusted the neck.
Yeah. Well, if you do adjust the neck, it's going to stay there.
Right.
Unlike I've had some bad experiences with some really expensive guitars that are moving, if the humidity changes 5%, the neck is moving around, and it's just it's prohibitive. For me, I can't. There's no way the guitar will play in tune and stay in tune.
The funny thing about like this guitar, like we've talked about this now on a channel. I've talked about this. I was one years ago, kind of from the not a PRS guy camp, just because of living in New York, and people have all these opinions of what people who play PRS or blah 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 blah. And I just started playing them, and I was like, I got to be honest. I was telling you, I did a recording, and all the guitars were this and the studio, because they played perfectly in tune. They sat in the mix perfectly. And the producer was like, oh, the guitars sound great. He's like, what were you using? I said, those are all PRSs. He's like, I hear that all the time. He hears it all the time. I said, yeah, there's just not the issues. So what I love about this and the guitars is just that, I don't know. Here's the thing that somebody said to me about my other one of yours on the gig. Like, I'm normally playing Strats. They said, yeah, like I was playing a Les Paul and I had pulled this. Like, oh yeah, you're like totally at home right away. And I have to say, it's specifically your model because of it feels like I'm playing a Strat right here.
Yeah, that's a really key thing. That for me, I thought of it more like a Telecaster because I'm more of a Tele guy than a Strat guy. Although I love Strats, but it's the height of the string off the body and the feel of the bridge. It's your palm function, the muting and the position of your hand is the same. And so switching back and forth between a Fender and this guitar is seamless for me. That was a big thing. So when I get a Tune-o-matic, I have to kind of recalibrate for a moment because my hand's up higher. It really does make a difference. It's not something you can't adjust to, but it's nice to be able to go.
And the volume knob.
Yeah.
Like where those are. And that was the comment people said, like, oh, you went from the Strat to that. And it was just like, it was a totally seamless thing. And so my feeling, especially with your models, I've tried the other ones, and your model's my favorite. For all the reasons we're discussing. The neck carve is great. The choice of, it just feels right. You start playing it and I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. This is great. So, yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you like it, man. I'm honored you have it. And
yeah, man. I love it. So there's only 200 of these made this year, or are there going to be more, or you don't know?
I haven't heard.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think it's possible they could make more. I don't know. I mean, I think that they're all spoken for. So I don't know if they've all actually sold through the dealers, but the dealers have been. I think that to the dealers they're sold out.
Yeah, they are.
The dealers cannot get any more of them. So I don't know what that means.
Well, I've spoken to my friends at Watchtower Guitars where I got this. They can't get any more. They're all sold out, but there are some available online that I've seen. So, yeah, man. So congratulations. Yeah. You guys can obviously even hear the demos and the video, the pickups and sounds that David's talking about. So, yeah, man. Well, good luck with the guitar. Good luck. It's already sold out. It's great. It's awesome. So I know, guys, everybody, it's not an inexpensive guitar, but as David said, it's pretty close to a private stock as you can get. It's completely flawless and beautiful and stays in tune and does everything it's supposed to do right out of the box. So as with all that kind of stuff with PRS, but there's something about this guitar that really blew me away. So it's awesome, man.
I'm glad you like it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Once again, I'd like to thank David Grissom for joining me to talk about his amazing guitar. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. Also, my Blues Rock Repeated Licks course is on sale. And also, I've got free jam tracks using the link down below. Rock jam tracks, blues jam tracks with a real band. Also, using the link below, I have my free Arpeggios Unlocked mini course and ebook. Check that out, and I will see you the next time.